So I'm here to represent the Blue Group, which we had a fantastic discussion. I was very impressed, very participative, and thank you to everybody who got involved in the discussion. I've been mandated to talk about two topics, and I hope I do it justice, because there was lots of conversation. It was very hard to come up with a real focused key point. But the two topics that we want to talk about are basically leadership and some of the aspects of leadership, and efficiency and motivation using Generation C. From a leadership perspective, we posed a rather provocative question. Why do we have a CEO? The feeling is that we need to have direction, the company needs to have direction, but that direction now, via the social media, can come directly from the customers, using the examples of Favi or Kickstart or Local Motors. It's directly from the company's network you can get the company direction. So you don't need to have a figurehead who's going to decide which direction you need to go in. But when you have a direction, that needs to be very well communicated. So you gather, using social media, the company direction, and then you have to translate that into making sure that everybody is going in the same direction with effective communication via the blogs, via the social media, etc. So it's very important that the leadership direction is clearly understood and is visible. The other topic is efficiency and motivation. So our group were quite impressed with the fact that as Generation C can assimilate vast amounts of information and really process it extremely well and better than we can, but only when they're motivated. So what does this mean for the organization? On the one hand, the company needs to do something. It needs to create a product, and that doesn't necessarily always mean that it's going to be motivating to a Generation C person or any other generation. So do you change the organization to match the aspirations of Generation C, or do you try to change Generation C to fit in with the company need? I can't give you the answer. This was something that we understood as a question you need to develop. But the concept that you need to include not just Generation C's capabilities, but also without excluding Generation X and Generation Y, to make sure that you actually have a diversity in the workplace that everybody can contribute to. We also talked about this information overload, and the concept, or the feeling that we had as a group was that actually everybody has an innate ability to filter. It just is more developed in certain generations than it is in other generations. So there should not be a filter on what goes into the system, but there should be a filter on what people are actively using. Which means how you communicate using the correct tools and the appropriate timing becomes very important. So that's the two main topics that I've discussed. I hope I did justice to our team's discussions, and now I'd like to hand over to Anne. So thank you very much.